Hello, and welcome back to Madness in the Method, the great fucking podcast we decided to start, where we talk about nothing but Nicolas Cage podcast. Nicolas Cage movies. So yeah, it's a Nicolas Cage podcast. It's the greatest one, really, on the internet. My name is Tobias, and with me, as always, is my friend and trusty co-host, Christopher.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. And, this is a monumental day. It really shouldn't be, but it is, because we're going to talk about a Nicolas Cage movie that is awful! I don't know if you can tell from this intro, but I hate this movie. Sorry for jumping the gun, and kind of spoiling the rest of the conversation, but, hey, if you want to listen to these episodes in advance, though, if you really like the show, and you want, I want more now, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. There's a bunch of other stuff there, just $3 a month. Now, let's get into this. We're going to talk about the 2019 crime thriller sort of action movie.
Just call it movie. 2019 movie.
It is technically, yes, a movie.
We've had less movies than this.
That's true. I know. I'm being unfair here. Yeah, we're talking about the 2019 movie starring Nicolas Cage, Kill Chain. Can you explain what happened in it? Because I barely can.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. So it's one of those movies where it's called like circular storytelling or whatever, where it starts one way and then we go back and see how we ended up here, and then we keep going from that point. Sort of.
It's one of those movies where you're perpetually going like, huh? What's going on? And then they explain everything, and you're like, oh.
So the movie starts off, just going through the movie very quickly.
Yes.
It starts off a hotel where obviously something has happened. There's a dead guy there. There is I think there's some like broken glass or something. You see there's been sort of a fight or something. And two guys go into this hotel.
There's a lady covered in blood also.
Yes. So they look around, and from a back room we see the two guys don't see that, but we see as audience that Nicolas Cage and a half-dressed, half-bloodied girl comes out of a room. And Nicolas Cage go over to these guys, and they talk sort of in a way that they sort of know each other, at least they know of each other. And Nicolas Cage, and they're like, you should have known you couldn't run. And Nicolas Cage is like, well, things happen, sort of. And then they say, well, it's time to die. And he says, oh, you don't want to hear a story how we ended up here? And they're like, yeah, fair enough, sort of. And then that's the start off of the movie. Then we go back to, I think, earlier that day. I think it's the same day.
Feels like it, yeah. Earlier that day.
And we go back to some new person.
Yeah.
This old guy.
Just to set up the timeline here, this is like 7 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
You say, don't you want to hear the story? And cut to the photographer from the Just Shoot Me sitcom. You remember that show? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's where I know him from.
Yeah, exactly. It took me a while too. Like, oh, it's that guy. Yeah. And he's some sort of contract killer with a sniper, and he's talking about rice cookers. And I'm like, what is going on? Where did Nicolas Cage go? What is happening?
So the way I interpret this, or what happens with this movie is, and it's called Kill Chain because we see a chain of killings that sort of go into each other. So it starts off with these two hitmen who have something. They're like against each other, and we don't know if they're hired for the same target or whatever. But then we realize the other hitman is hired to kill the first hitman, sort of. So the first hitman gets killed, and the second hitman he gets paid, and he goes to a drop off to get some diamonds, and then he gets arrested by some cops, and
that know about who.
Yeah, because I think there's some kind of dirty cops or whatever. Yeah, because they talk about that they at least hint that they arrest criminals and take their money. And they sort of, I don't know if they kill them or whatever, but yeah. So they get this hitman, and then because of the money, these two cops, who's gonna get the money, they sort of start killing each other over the money.
They kill him, or one of them kills him. Ryan Quanten is the actor. He kills the guy, and they start shooting each other over the money, it's a big bag of diamonds.
Yeah.
Which they are kind of like Chekhov's diamonds, because they're also kind of part of why this story started.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but we'll get to that. Sorry.
Yeah. So the cop kills everyone. So there's only one cop left now in this kill chain.
Yeah.
So in this cop, he goes to some lady, which I didn't realize at the moment. I realized later that that's the girl from the beginning of the movie with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It took me a while to realize that too.
To get that. But yeah. So and they talk about that they're like in over their head over some like gang, some mob boss woman or something. Yeah. And there's I don't know. There's something. So they have stolen money from a woman, and the woman is after them, sort of.
Yeah, so they have to escape and get new identities.
And that's why the dirty cop is like stealing money, so they could get the money to get out of there. Sort of. But yeah, so then this mob person attacks and kills the cop off screen.
Off screen.
And then the girl gets away, and then the girls go to a hotel, and that's the hotel where Nicolas Cage is.
That's where she's supposed to meet Aranya, who's going to give her the new identity they were going to pay for with the money.
And then they sort of have they talk a lot about nothing, really.
Yeah, I know.
The woman. There's a lot of these cool lines that doesn't mean anything. It's like, oh, you need a man who can help you from... Oh, no, what is it? It's like, Aranya, that means spider. Oh, you can't handle spiders alone? Yeah, I can handle spiders alone, but maybe you need a man who can handle spiders and the snakes. Oh, and it's like...
You've met a lot of spiders and lobos and snakes, haven't you?
Ooh, okay,
trying
you're
to
both
be
cool.
like old school noir dialogue, and it just sounds bad,
It's like, you're both... It looks, or it sounds like two not cool people trying to be cool to each other.
Yeah.
Sort of.
It's like high schoolers trying to do like Tarantino dialogue in their high school movie. Yeah.
And I think the dialogue was fine usually, but there was these moments where it's like borderline cringe, really. Mm-hmm. But most of the time it's fine. It's never good, but it's fine most of the time, I think.
Most of the time, but yeah, there is some very cringe-worthy dialogue here.
Yeah. But then anyway, so the mob goes there and looking for the girl. Nicolas Cage is sort of protecting her, and then there's this sort of fight scene where, well, anyway, one of the goon is killed and the mob boss is killed.
The lady who was chasing after the lady, yeah.
Exactly.
Because I'm guessing she's a former prostitute or something?
I think she's like sort of a pimp.
About that. The girl who stole the money is one of her...
Yeah, something like that. Not
prostitutes.
sure. Because there's also
they don't really explain that.
There's also hints that they were together, I think.
Oh, yeah, she keeps calling her my woman or something.
Yeah, but that could also be just...
Yeah, she's my bottom bitch, basically. Yeah, something like that.
So, I'm just gonna check... Because the movie have great character names. I don't know if you looked at
yeah. It's like the old sniper, the curious assassin.
So the mob person, the mob boss, she is called the very bad woman. That's her character name.
Because they call her that once in the movie. She's a very bad woman.
So the woman kills the very bad woman. And then we see the two guys from the beginning of the movie gets into the bar, to the hotel, and then they leave the room as just as we saw in the beginning of the movie. So now we're caught up, sort of.
And then he sits down to to tell the story, and then tells not the story we just saw take place, but another story that kind of before this for like 10 minutes, and there's some flashbacks, and I'm just like, where are we going with this?
And at this point, because Nicolas Cage tells his story about like how he ended up at a hotel, sort of.
Yeah.
And we get this. I don't know if is this before? This is after John Wick, right?
Yes, This is after John Wick 3, even.
Yeah, because it sort of feels like they're trying a John Wick thing, where like, oh, it's the hitman who work for the company and things like that. Like they try to hint on a bigger world, a bigger something. And Nicolas Cage and his partner Franco, his name is. They escaped the company because they sort of betrayed them and got away. And these two guys that goes to the hotel, they are here from the company to just kill Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And then after that we have an action scene, where they just kill each other.
Yeah, they kill the two assassins.
Yeah.
Then we find out, Nicolas Cage was Aranya.
Yeah.
But now he can't give her a new identity, I guess. I guess he never was a guy who could give identities. It was just a thing he said. Because his original plan was to kill all these people that were killed during the night. Because they were all involved in getting some trafficked girls killed, human trafficked girls killed 7 years ago. So all this was sort of set up by him.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, what?
Yeah, we get this big reveal at the end where every person who was killed this night, except some goons, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Was set up and planned to get killed tonight by each other, and Nicolas Cage was the mastermind behind everything. He pulled the strings.
But the bad part is that at least a couple of the killings are like accidental. Like the cop shooting the second assassin, that wasn't supposed to happen. They were just supposed to take his money and then like dump him somewhere. But he just shoots him. They say like we don't always kill them. So that's a big like guess. That's a big risk to take. And then the same thing with the cop who is the lady's love interest. Turns out he's bad. Which whatever, doesn't matter. He gets killed by the pimp lady or the very bad woman or whatever it was, very bad lady. Which what if he got away? The plan with them was to both get away. Was the plan then for Aranya, Nicolas Cage, to kill him there? In the hotel, or he keeps saying like, "Oh, there was a plan B and a plan C. I had it all figured out." No, that's just bad writing.
Yeah, I mean that is sort of that's what they're trying to hint. Again, it boggles the mind and it's not realistic at all. But what they're trying to say is like, yeah, he's so smart and he's so good at this that all of these like risks, they weren't risks because he knew
thought
what
of
the
it
people
all.
would do, and it's like, yeah, because I planted this amount of diamonds because that's exactly the amount that they need to get the new IDs, which I have told them that I can fix it for them. So I know they're looking for exactly this amount, so that's why they kill each other. And I think also there's a hint that he Aranya sold or gave the very bad woman the location of the lady and the cop.
Okay.
And that's why she finds him. There's a lot of these. Yeah, I made that happen, and it's like, I guess, but it's not that realistic.
No, and honestly, I could like forgive the kind of bad writing because it's kind of cool, like how we set it all up. The problem is that all of that is explained in the very end of the movie, so you're just sitting there.
No.
I guess it's supposed to be like a big reveal, but it's an hour and a half. And what of a movie that's really only like 40 minutes long, because the movie should really only have been Nicolas Cage in the hotel, but they were like, we need to put some other stuff in there because it's not an hour and a half. That's how it feels like to me. So they backload the movie with explaining everything because they realize it's very having all these other characters. Not that are not like for not part of Nicolas Cage's story. Because this is a Nicolas Cage movie, but he doesn't, except for the beginning, he doesn't appear for the first half hour, 35 minutes. So you're just like, what is all this? So then they have to explain all that. So you go, aha, okay, and then but at least for me, it wasn't a big, oh, now I get it. Wow, it was more like, oh, that's it. That's what I was waiting for. Okay. It didn't justify me sitting being not confused but confounded, like what is going on? Why am I watching these people kill each other? Where is Nicolas Cage? What is the story here? What is going on? And you're like, oh, okay. So it's a big anticlimax for me, which completely ruins the movie.
All right. So spoilers. I don't hate this movie.
I don't hate it either. Like I said at the beginning, I don't hate it. I just thought it was the most boring thing I've watched in so long. This was worse than last week. What was it called? Running with the Devil. That was that was pretty boring.
I think this one was definitely better than that one, but not better in. I mean, I would say I wasn't bored. I wasn't having fun either. I was just, it was a movie, where no strong emotions either way.
All right.
And I guess the way I see the movie, or what I think happened, is they sort of set up this really convoluted, or not convoluted, very complicated story.
Yeah.
Where we have this hitman. If you look at the story, just look at the story on the table.
Yeah.
They put together this story of a hitman who has hired all of these intricate things to make this night happen as he wants. Or a mercenary, I guess. But then they're sort of not really sure how to tell this story in a interesting way. So they try a lot of, I don't know what it's called, but a lot of tropes to give anticipation. Again, we start with do you want to hear the story? And go back.
Yeah.
We have these, they don't tell us a lot of the details about the characters until the end, because we're supposed to be like, oh, what's going on? Who is this people? And then at the end, oh, I get it now. And it's just, they fall really hard on just how to convey the story. I think the story in itself is pretty good. If it's been a book or something.
Sure, yeah.
The way they sort of convey it is very unnecessary, complicated, and as you say, it's sort of like they looked at the watch and, oh fuck, we only have 10 minutes left and we haven't explained anything. Okay, just explain everything. Just let someone explain. Because we couldn't do it visually.
Yeah.
I think that's the big issue, that they just couldn't tell this story in a good, interesting way. But yeah, the story in itself is, I'd like.
It's fine, yeah.
And I think, since this is a Nicolas Cage podcast, I think Nicolas Cage did a pretty good job. I liked his acting in this movie.
Yeah, he's good, yeah.
Because he did this, which I think was very good. He changed character when we put on his glasses every time. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, not really.
So he takes off his glasses sometimes.
Yeah.
And every time he puts the glasses on or off.
He's kind of more
changed, like... He changed his facial features, and he changed like how he stands. And you see that he becomes a different person. He goes back to his mercenary persona, or the goofy hotel persona, sort of.
Yeah.
And I think that was very good acting from his part. And he did. I think he sold most of the lines. Again, it's not good lines, but he sold them.
That's the thing. He's fine. It's just bad dialogue that he has to deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. I thought he was fine. Definitely.
Yeah, and I think most of the people are fine. I think the only people that was bad. I think the very bad woman was very bad.
Yeah, she was bad.
And I don't know if that's the character or the acting, because it feels over the top and weird. She feels like a caricature, sort of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think the whole scene with the cops in the car, also, just very bad acting, really, over the top.
Yeah, I had to I couldn't really focus on the acting there because the version I found of the movie had for some reason hard-coded German subtitles in those scenes.
Great.
So I was like, because I know more German than Spanish, but I know a little bit of Spanish as well. So I was like trying to I was kind of following along, but I couldn't focus on their acting because I had to try and understand what are they talking about? Or something about he's a rat bastard. Okay, and then what is it? They're making fun of the other guy. Wait a minute. So, I couldn't really focus on the acting there.
Okay.
Yeah, that scene was annoying, but for different reasons for me.
Yeah. So there's definitely some good parts, but there's more bad parts. But.
Oh yeah,
there was nothing. It feels like you, as you said, the movie was sort of ruined for you at certain parts.
Yes.
I didn't feel anything ruined the movie. It was more of a rolling eyes sigh. Oh well.
Yeah, I guess that's more accurate. Yeah, it wasn't like the ending ruined a good movie. That's true. It was just like the culmination of a bunch of moments.
Yeah. I also didn't like I know what they're trying to do, but it comes off very bad with the woman, Renata is her name, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Her sort of femme fatale thing where she's sort of sleeping with everybody she looks at in the movie, or at least it's hinting.
Well, yeah, she uses sex to get ahead.
Yeah, but it felt, and I get that's what they're trying to do. They try to make this, as you said, this noir feeling to a lot of the characters, where it's like, oh, she's hot but dangerous, kind of thing.
Femme fatale, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't think it worked at all. It just felt like, okay, it's she meets another person. I guess she gotta kiss him, as always.
Yeah, it came off a little like that. It came off like, a guy wrote this, you know?
Yeah. It was a guy, Ken Sansel.
Who also
directed and wrote the movie.
Who I looked him up just a little bit here. He's done some good things before. He produced Numbers, the TV show about the math nerds who solve crimes.
Yeah, that was
it's a pretty good show. He wrote not amazing movie, but he wrote the Chow Yun-fat movie Replacement Killers from the 90s. Pretty good action movie. So I mean, he's done good things, and then he did this. I don't know.
Yeah, but if you look at his, again, there's some good here, but there's nothing great here.
No, I guess that's true.
And it feels. I think this movie really feels on brand with the other thing he's made. If you just look over.
Yeah, a lot of TV stuff.
Okay, there was a lot of one episodes, but I think like Blue Bloods and there's a lot of cop things.
And this was his. Well, no, he's written some movies before. Yeah, Blunt Force Trauma, whatever that is. Follows the journey of John and Colt, gunfighters and sometime lovers, on parallel but very different journeys through an underground dueling culture. Oh, that sounds kind of cool, actually. Dueling culture? Oh. Anyway, sorry.
Oh. Gotta watch that one.
I gotta watch that one, yeah. Ken Sansel. He's a great writer. Oh no, he wrote Kill Chain. Right. Oh. Anyway. Yeah, no, there's nothing great here. But it's just like he's done better than this at least.
Yeah. But I think it's definitely, there's been some real bad ones this season of the podcast.
Oh yeah.
And I think this seems on par. It's for this season. It's not at the bottom.
No. This is not Between Worlds.
or even Looking Glass, I'd say.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. This is exactly. This is, like you said, on par.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because when we set this up, this was supposed to be, but that's really just because of a couple of movies. Then we found out how many movies he's actually made. That's supposed to be the Renaissance, but that's like where he came back big, into the mainstream. But that's really only for Mandy and then Color Out of Space.
Yeah.
The rest of that period, he just made more trash, like in the last season, direct to DVD. late aughts and the early 2010s. Yeah, it's just more garbage.
So I guess this isn't really the Renaissance.
No, not really. The Renaissance, that should have been like Mandy, and then we should have skipped and just made that one episode season, and then go to season 5, the continuing decline, basically. Yeah.
But also, just looking over, there's one good movie every year.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what he
5
does.
Movies every year.
Yeah, he does one where he really believes in the project, and then he does 5, 6 other movies to make money.
Yeah.
Which is
there's Mandy 2018, Colorado Space 2019, and
2020 though. Oh, he didn't do anything in 2020.
Yeah, so nothing in 2020.
2021.
I haven't seen those, but I've heard that Willy's Wonderland is fun at least, but I haven't seen it.
I'm not going to spoil it for you. That ain't it, Chief. it's awful, in my opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, that year for me would be Pig. That is like, well, once again, don't want to overhype that, but we'll get to that pretty soon. That's the good movie in 2021.
Yeah.
And then I guess in 2022. Yeah, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, I suppose. But once again, I saw that back in 2022 when it came out. It's not great. It's good. It's definitely miles above stuff like, Kill Chain or Looking Glass. But it's not a great movie. So, it's...
But
yeah. Anyway, we're skipping ahead, sorry.
Yeah, it seems also like we sort of need to, because... There's not much more to say about this movie. We're half an hour into the podcast, and it's like, well, we've gone through the story, and there's nothing more to say.
Yeah, I usually say, this might be a short episode. This is going to be a short episode because we're basically done. There's no Metascore. Nobody actually reviewed this. Yeah, there are critic reviews, but that's mainly like German DVD sites for some reason. I looked it up.
Why is it only German?
I don't know. Maybe it was
German reviewers
popular in Germany. I don't know. It has a 5, straight down the line, 5.0 out of 10 for user score on IMDb. I don't know if did you find any interesting reviews? Are there any 10s or 1s?
I mean,
there always are, but anything interesting?
Yeah. I found there's very middling reviews. It got a 5.0 on IMDb, and there's a lot of most is just 6s or 5s. It's like, it's fine. Sort of the same as like me. It's like, it's fine. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
But there's one 8 out of 10, which is weird start that comes together. Kill Chain is a simple yet aptly named thriller that begins slowly and oddly, almost stumbling until the 4th or 5th scene, where we can recognize the pattern of what's going on. The strongest section of the film is definitely the final 30 minutes that is taken over by Cage with force and some striking charisma. At times, the camera is a bit hard to follow, and the supporting characters may be a tad weak, but nothing that really takes away from the enjoyment of this thriller. Even with the sprawling plot points between all the characters, the story comes together, even leaving it open to have a sequel.
Yeah.
Cage seems to be on a roll as of late, coming out with Mandy, Mom and Dad, Colorado Space. Just as we said, that's the 3 movies.
Yeah, exactly.
And now this. I hope this trend continues, and we see Cage return to his glory days, even if he is super enjoyable as the macro meme mascot of the internet.
But this is not in the... I would not put this with Mom and Dad and Mandy and Colorado Space. No. This is straight to DVD garbage.
But I think, though, this movie could be very... I think people could really like this if you're not watching a lot of movies.
I guess. And we've said that before about movies.
But if you don't, like... If you haven't seen... We both have seen sort of this story and this way of telling a story, but in a lot better ways. Yeah. But if you haven't...
Then it's like, he planned it all.
If you haven't watched, like, Quentin Tarantino or any of those, like, the greats, I think this movie could be very enjoyable. I think it's mostly ruined because we've seen better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, again, that's what I'm coming through. This 8 out of 10, it feels like he hasn't seen a lot of movies.
Yeah. He's part of the
again,
he's part of the Vox Populi.
But it's also this thing where, but I think the most interesting thing is with this is just Cage seems to be on a roll of, as of late, coming out with Mandy, Mom and Dad, Colorado Space, and this is exactly the way we were looking at Nicolas Cage before we started the podcast about the Renaissance season.
Yeah,
just this thing is like, oh, he made these great movies, and it's like, yeah, but he did like 5 bad for every good.
Yeah,
but people at this, because we talked about this throughout the podcast, how the views of Nicolas Cage have changed through the years over these seasons. Mm-hmm. And you feel here that, and we read that in the reviews previous episodes, that here it has really changed. Now people is like, yeah, he's great. This is, people don't look at this movie and it's like, it's another bad Nicolas Cage movie. It's like, there was a dud between the good ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he got memed on the internet, and after that, people just I always liked Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
and I think more that this season is a renaissance, but not because of the movies he made. Of course, Mandy and Colorado Space, but he made more bad movies than good movies. I think it's that people might have gone back and watched older movies, like, oh yeah, he actually was good. Yeah. So that's why he's stuck around in the zeitgeist.
But yeah. That's about. There's a lot of more reviews, but again, there's nothing really to say. Most is like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Most people are saying it's like this one. It's really watchable film. It's pretty decent, fast-pacing flick. Okay.
I wouldn't call it fast-paced, but yeah, sure. It is watchable, I suppose.
Yeah.
And
surprisingly good movie. Complete waste of time and resources. And not Nicolas Cage's worst.
No, it's not. And over on Letterboxd, it's the same. It's straight down the middle. It has a 2.3 out of 5. A lot of people complaining that there's not enough Nick Cage, which that I agree with as well. Like, he's only in like half the movie. It's just like, where's Nicolas Cage? Where is he?
Anyway. Especially since the poster is just Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, they're really selling Nicolas Cage. Yeah. They should have had all the other people in the kill chain on the posters to show like, this is what happened. But it feels like, that's what I mean. It just feels like that's almost like an afterthought. Like, we need to explain everything now, because none of the other characters have any real development or character arc or anything. They're just part of the kill chain. And the only character we really care about is Nicolas Cage and the girl, I suppose. But yeah, Nicolas Cage, like I said, doesn't appear until halfway through the movie. You're like, what? Hello? So for the first half, I don't care about anything. And that's not good. That's kind of where you have to stick to, the screenwriting formula, because it works.
Yeah.
You can experiment, but you got to recognize when it doesn't work.
It's this something my teacher told me when I went to film
film school,
sort of.
Yeah.
That you have to be really good at the structure of a movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, you really need to know the classic structure of a movie to be able to break it.
Yes.
You really need to.
Exactly.
You really need to be super good at the standard to know how to break the standard.
Exactly.
And this movie doesn't do that.
No.
This is, I saw this cool thing, I want to do it, without really understanding how that cool thing is done correctly.
Yeah. That's you're hitting the nail on the head there. Yeah. Definitely.
I saw this great trivia of this movie.
I think it's yeah.
Nicolas Cage wants to have a mustache instead of a beard in this movie.
Oh, I would have said yes.
That's a great trivia. I love that. That's the only trivia really.
Yeah, there wasn't much. That was the only interesting part. Oh, no, also the fact that this is the second movie that Nicolas Cage filmed in Colombia in this year. The first one was Running with the Devil, so I'm guessing he was like, his scheduling was like, I'll stay in Colombia for 4 weeks and I can shoot 2 movies and have a vacation at the same time. Then I'm
While
going
I'm
home.
here.
While I'm here, I'll make some money. Yeah.
Did he have a beard in Running with the Devil? I don't
I
remember.
think so.
Thinking if does he have the same beard? Is the question.
He has that big beard. He's had that for a while now, I think.
No, he was clean shaven.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
So he has the big beard in the press photos.
Yeah. So I wonder, did he? Which one did he shoot first?
Yeah.
Did he have to shave for Running with the Devil, or did he grow a beard for Kill Chain? Now I'm interested.
We're really grasping. Now we're really grasping for straws to talk. That's what we talk about.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much for listening to this brief discussion about Kill Chain. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. More than a movie, at least.
Score?
Once again. Oh, sorry, the score. Yeah, sorry.
So, what are you gonna give this movie?
This is a 3 out of 5. 3 out of 10.
It's
for
a
me.
3.
3, yeah.
I'm gonna give this a 5.
Okay.
And it's a straight down the middle 5.
Yeah. I just wanted to get this over with. I forgot.
Yeah. You're like, I'm done now. No. Okay, now you can end the podcast.
All right. Now we should do this properly. So yeah, this was Kill Chain. Next week we're gonna talk about Primal, which was one of those that kind of got a little bit of attention because I don't know if this is true, but people were like talking before the movie came out that he like turns into a jaguar or something in it. I don't know. Okay. There's something weird about it. So I know this got a little bit of attention and it was like a meme for like a second. So I am kind of looking forward to watching this one. Primal is for next week, which is his second to last movie in 2019. So if you want to follow along for next week, check out Primal. I'm sure it's available everywhere. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out patreon.com/don'tmakeascene if you want to support us even more and get a bunch of exclusives. But other than that, we'll see you next week with Primal, and until then, have a good one. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Madness in the Method is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It is produced and directed by Tobias Vedén and hosted by Tobias Vedén and Christopher Billén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. A huge shout out goes to all our patrons on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Mom, Dad, Laura Kinney, Danny Del Gaiso, Christopher Billén, Mac and Mom, and Zika85.